Hare Krishna. Thank you all for taking out your valuable time and joining for this course. We'll start with Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 today. So before starting, we'll follow the protocols of the classroom norms. Otherwise, it becomes chaotic if too many people are speaking at a time. Even during Ishopanishad, many devotees started complaining. So we'll follow the proper protocol of raising the hand, and only when you are invited, please speak. And the question answers will be taken only at regular intervals. I will, in meanwhile, while the discussion is going on, if you have some question, please mark it down. And when we are taking the question answer session, at that time you are encouraged to ask the question answers. So we'll start the class today, Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. Last time we had seen the Srila Prabhupada's introduction, and before that class we had seen the general introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll just go through quickly regarding the Srila Prabhupada's introduction. Sachin Prabhu, if you are in the class, can you please answer? None of them can be strictly said to be authoritative, because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. One English American lady asks Prabhupada, can you please refer me one edition of Bhagavad Gita? Then in response, Prabhupada is writing this. Okay. Anyone can unmute and tell the answer.
Own opinion.
Okay. Yeshwar Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita was first spoken to the womb, and he in turn explained it to Manu.
To sun god, then to Ishwaku.
Yeah, thank you. Upasana Mataji, Krishna tells Arjuna that he is relating the supreme secret to him because Arjuna has these qualifications.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavad, because he is his devotee and his friend.
Mahaprakash Prabhuji, as for Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, Arjuna tells, I accept you as Supreme Lord, not only me, many other sages also accept. Can you tell the names of few of them?
As per Brody, I'm not able to recollect. I think Vyasadev and a couple of other sages. I'm just trying to recollect.
Yeah, very good. Vyasadev name is there. Very good. Maybe others can add the other remaining name.
Asita, Devala, Narada.
Okay, Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. Thank you. What kind of inquiries to be made to become proper student for understanding Bhagavad Gita? Chandra Krishna Prabhuji. If you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, one has to inquire why, from where to where, such kind of inquiries. Anything you remember?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So we need to inquire about the Supreme Lord and what is our relationship with him. And we need to inquire from the authoritative persons, like in Parampara, the disciplic succession, you can say.
Correct. That also there. It is a generic question, so it is difficult to tell the one particular answer. In introduction, Prabhupada also writes, why am I suffering, or where I came from, and where I shall go after death. These are also there. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Vamanadesh Vishnu Prabhuji, why did Krishna have to establish the new parampara? When already, as Ishwar Prabhu mentioned, Krishna spoke to Sun God spoke to Manu spoke to Ikshwaku. Then why another parampara need to be established? Okay. Because the knowledge appeared to be lost. Sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantava. That's why new parampara is established. Was Arjuna really ignorant on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Nikunja Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, no, Arjuna is not ignorant, but that is all Krishna's plans. to give this Bhagavad Gita to the human society. Hare
Very
Krishna.
good. Very good. Thank you very much. We'll start with today's class. So there is a book by one brahmachari from Bhakti Vedanta Manor. His name is Sutapa Prabhu. And he has written a book called Bhagavad Gita in acronyms. So he gives acronym for each chapter. We will see that acronym also. At the same time, we will see the detailed chapter breakdown also, because sometimes acronym, in order to fit it in the acronym, we may little bit change the boundaries of the this sections. So that's why we will see the detailed chapter breakdown. At the same time, we will see the acronym, because acronym is easy to remember. So the acronym for chapter 1 is doubt. D means duplicity of Dhritarashtra and diplomacy of
Prabhuji,
Duryodhana.
you're telling something about Sutapa, Prabhuji. We missed the later part, Prabhuji.
Okay. We will be seeing the Sutapa Prabhu's book, Bhagavad Gita in acronyms. So this book is also there in soft copy of this book is available in our drive. In the drive, all the various materials are given. One of the material given is also this particular soft copy, Bhagavad Gita in acronyms. You can go through that. So this is the acronym for chapter 1, doubt. Doubt means duplicity of Dhritarashtra and diplomacy of Duryodhana. O for omens, there are good omens for Pandava's victory. And U is uncertainty of Arjuna. B, bewilderment. T, turning point. So, and the detailed chapter breakdown is basically there are two sections majorly. Within that, there are subsections. Major is observing the armies, that is from verse sloka 1 to 27. Within that, there are subsections like 1 to 11 is preparation for war, and 12 to 20 is signs of victory for Pandavas, and 21 to 27 is describes the Krishna's Bhaktavatsala nature. And the second section, 28 to 46, is about Arjuna's lamentation. He gives 5 arguments why he is not, basically 4 arguments in this particular chapter, and 1 argument which cannot be called as argument also, which makes him not to fight. That is in the second chapter. So compassion, enjoyment, fear of sinful reactions, and the destruction of family tradition. So these are the 4 reasons Krishna, I am not going to fight in this battlefield. And he keeps his Gandiva and he sits down. So this we will be seeing. So Acharyas give 2 names for this particular chapter. One is Sainya Darshana Yoga, and some other Acharyas mention Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So if you see all the chapter names of Bhagavad Gita, they end with yoga. Yoga means this, although it is a lamentation by Arjuna, but that lamentation is connecting him to the Supreme. That's why it is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Basically, if you see these 2 sections, observing the armies, that is Sainya Darshana Yoga, and Arjuna's lamentation, this is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Basically, some of the Acharyas, they focused on the first 27 verses. That's why they gave the title Sainya Darshana Yoga. And some other Acharyas, they focused more on the second portion, that is Arjuna's lamentation. That's why they gave the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishada means lamentation. Darshana means observing. So observing the armies and Arjuna's lamentation. So these are the 2 sections in the chapter 1. Total 46 verses are there in the chapter 1. So we'll see the first subsection, that is 1 to 11. If any devotees have any questions, please note it down. We will take at a regular intervals. So 1 to 11 is preparation for war. First sloka is Dhritarashtra. He is sitting in the Hastinapur and Sanjaya is there. So Dhritarashtra is inquiring from Sanjaya. Okay, my sons and Pandavas, they assembled at Kurukshetra. Then what did they do? So Sanjaya in response is answering to Dhritarashtra. This is the only sloka spoken by Dhritarashtra. And Sanjaya replies, Duryodhana went to Dronacharya and spoke as follows. Now, whatever is spoken is by the Duryodhana. Although it is not mentioned Duryodhana's name, it is implied. So he is telling Dronacharya, see the army arranged by the son of Drupada. In that army, there are 4 to 6. He lists the warrior names. In that army, there are many who are powerful like Bhima and Arjuna. And he tells the names Virata, Drupada, Satyaki, Yudamanyu, Uttamauja, Abhimanyu, and sons of Draupadi. In this way, there are so many warriors who are as powerful as like Bhima and Arjuna. Then 7 to 9, he lists the warriors on the side of Duryodhana's side. Our side also, there are many great warriors. So Bhishma is there, and yourself are there, and Ashwadhama is there, Karna, Vikarna. In that way, so many warriors are there on our side also. So then Dronacharya may ask, okay, there in Pandava side, there are so many warriors who are powerful like Bhima and Arjuna. And you are saying in our side also, there are so many warriors, Ashwadhama, Karna, Vikarna, etc. Then if both the sides are equal, then how the victory will come? So victory has to come if one side is strong and other side is weak. So for that he explains, our army is protected by Bhishma and is sufficient, but their army protected by Bhima is not sufficient. So victory will definitely come to us because we are protected by the Bhishma Dev. So in the 11th verse, all of you, so now he is speaking to Dronacharya. So Bhishma may feel, why I am the commander in chief, but why he went to Dronacharya, and why he is not speaking with me, something like that. So then he started telling, all of you should give support to the Bhishma Dev. In that way, he brings the Bhishma's name into the picture. Basically, Duryodhana's diplomacy, he is very good at politics, is way that we can see. Now we will see in the various verses. He is very, he knows how to deal with the various people. He is very good at dealing with the people. All those qualities will come out. We'll start with the first sloka. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Kim akurvata Sanjaya. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. This Kurukshetra is a dharma kshetra. Samaveta means Samavesh. They assembled there. Yutsava, for what purpose? For the purpose of fighting. Who all? Mamaka, my sons, Pandavas. Kim akurvata, what did they do? Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra Uvacha means King Dhritarashtra said. Generally, when there is a singular Uvacha, when there is a plural number of people, it is mentioned Vutsu. Can you give some example where Vutsu is used? Very good. Gopya Vutsu means the plural number are there. That's why Vutsu. Dharma Kshetre, the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetra, in the Kurukshetra, Samaveta, assembled. Youth Sava, desiring to fight, Mamaka, my party, my sons, Pandava, the sons of Pandu, Cha, and. So these words you can remember. Cha, this comes very often wherever the word Cha means and Eva word also comes very oftenly, means certainly. Kim, what? Akurvata, did they do? Sanjaya, O Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, Dhritarashtra Vacha, O Sanjaya, after my sons, Mamaka and the sons of Pandu, Pandava, assembled Samaveta in the place of pilgrimage, Dharmakshetra, yet Kurukshetre, desiring to fight Yutsava, what did they do? Akurvata. So Dhritarashtra is asking from Sanjaya, and in response, the whole 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita are spoken by whatever he heard from Krishna Arjuna Samvad, he is repeating it here. Okay, who is the speaker and hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, Suta Goswami and Saunaka Rishis.
Okay, very good. So initially, when Parikshit was cursed by Srungi, so Parikshit Maharaj went to the Ganges and he want to hear. At that time, Sukadeva Goswami appeared there and he spoke Bhagavatam. In that assembly, Suta Goswami also sitting. So Sukadeva Goswami told, in future, this particular Suta Goswami who is sitting here, he will speak the same Bhagavatam to Saunaka Rishis. So the same whatever he heard, Suta Goswami, he repeats to the Saunaka Rishis. In that class, he recollects the how Parikshit Maharaj met to Sukadeva Goswami, and he relays the same thing, whatever he heard in that. So similarly, the Mahabharat also spoken, the Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharat. Not only all the Puranas, even the Mahabharat is also spoken by the Suta Goswami to the Saunaka Rishis. So in that conversation, just as Suta Goswami repeated the conversation between Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami, similarly here he repeats the conversation between Janamejaya and Vaisampayana. So Janamejaya was very deeply hurt by the how Takshaka killed his father. So he was doing the Sarpa Yajna. So he want to kill all the snakes in the world, in the universe. So he was doing, at that time Vaisampayana comes there. I don't know the exact reference, but there is a story where they say that Vaisampayana want to tell the Mahabharata to Janamejaya, but he tells, I don't have time now. So then Vaisampayana tells, give me at least few hours. He tells no, then he tells just 1 minute and he tells a sloka. There are two fools in the world. One is the Dasyanana, Ravana, another fool is Duryodhana. And he tells that much and he want to leave. Then Janamejaya asks, how they are only, so many people are there. Why are you considering only these two people are the fools? Can you tell little more? So then he tells Ravana, he saw the Hanumanji burning the whole Lanka, but he did not realize there may be so many Vanaras, they all will be attacking the Lanka. What will happen? And similarly, Duryodhana, he has seen at Virat Parva. Arjuna alone came and defeated all of them, and he has taken away their turban cloths. Still, he did not realize the power of the Pandavas. That's why these two are fools. Then he asks further questions. In that way, Mahabharata is open. In that, whatever Vaisampayana is telling Janamejaya, so the Mahabharata has 18 parvas. One of the parva is Bhishma Parva. In the Bhishma Parva, this Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya, they are discussing. So in that, this Bhagavad Gita revealed. So within this Dhritarashtra Sanjaya conversation comes the Krishna Arjuna Samvad. That is 1.21 to 18.73. So it is like a for loops. Some of you might have know this software programs. There is a loop. Within that loop, there is another loop. Within that, another loop. So similarly, here also there. So initially by Suta Goswami to sages headed by Saunaka Rishi, and within that conversation comes the Vaisampayana to Janamejaya Mahabharat. Within that comes the Bhishma Parva. In Bhishma Parva, Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya conversation. That is from this first sloka that we are seeing to 78th sloka in the 18th chapter. Within that comes the Krishna Arjuna Samvad. That is 1.21 to 18.73. So the words of Dhritarashtra and others in the Gita were written by Vedavyasa to create the continuity in the work. However, those words also become equivalent to the Lord's words, just as all objects falling in a salt mine become salty. So we should not say that, oh, this verse is spoken by Dhritarashtra. Why we should? He is a evil-minded person. So we should not. Bhagavad Gita means only whatever is spoken by Krishna. Sanjaya words and Dhritarashtra words, that we should not. Even Arjuna also ask questions. Will they also part of Bhagavad Gita? Our Acharya says, yes, they are also part of Bhagavad Gita because they are preparing the stage uh, for the Lord to speak this most secret. That's why whatever is fallen in the salt mine, they also become salty. Similarly, this Dhritarashtra sloka also part of Bhagavad Gita. And whenever there is Gita recitation, we need to recite this sloka also. And in the paragraph 1, Srila Prabhupada writes, Bhagavad Gita is a perfect theistic science. Then how to study the Bhagavad Gita? Scrutinizingly. So now we all have the opportunity to read the Bhagavad Gita, because again, once the course is over, we don't know. I hope you all should read again and again and again. But at least now we have the, for sure, there is a opportunity to read scrutinizingly each and every purport. Please go through nicely each and every sloka, because in future you may be giving some class, or that you may preparing or like that, but there may not be a proper regular reading. So at least now if we study nicely, that gives a kind of taste. That taste will impel us to read more. So please read it properly, scrutinizingly, and with the help of devotees of Sri Krishna. So we, by the fortune of Srila Prabhupada, we have this commentary by Srila Prabhupada to this Bhagavad Gita. So with that we can, we'll try to understand this. And no personally motivated interpretations. So without any, we need to understand it as it is given by the Lord. So as per, like we have seen in the introduction also, Krishna is telling, at least theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord and surrender to him the way Arjuna is surrendering. Then one can understand this message. And example of clear understanding of Bhagavad Gita, it is given in the Gita itself, in the way the teachings is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. So just as Arjuna has understood, similarly, we also need to understand the Bhagavad Gita. And what is the benefit of such study? One surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. If we just read the Bhagavad Gita, it is as good as studying all the Vedic wisdom. We have seen in the last class, Gita Mahatmya, where it is mentioned the Sarvopanishado Gavo. So all the Upanishads are compared to the cow. The essence of cow is the milk. Similarly, the essence of all the Vedic literatures is given in this small 700 slokas. So even if we understand this much also, our life, one can perfect his life. Then what is the specific standard of Bhagavad Gita? So many are there. It contains all that is contained in other scriptures, but also that which is not to be found elsewhere. So wherever, whatever the religious scripture is there, whatever the essence is there in that scripture, that is given in this particular book. And if something is not found here, it means it is not found anywhere else also. So the significance of words Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra are given. Dhritarashtra's inquiry reveals Dhritarashtra's doubtful and fearful mind. Uses the specific words Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, their importance as follows. So generally, such kind of question, whatever he is asking, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? For example, if I say all the devotees, they assembled in the kitchen and their plates are filled with prasad, then what did they do? So it is a no need to ask such question, because what they will do, they will eat prasad. Similarly, here also, you are only saying that they are desiring to fight. Then what did they do? In normal situation, they fight only. But there is a reason for Dhritarashtra to inquire this. The reason is he is doubtful about the holy place, Dharma Kshetra. So it is a holy place. It became holy place not after the Kurukshetra war. Even before only, Kurukshetra traditionally a holy place. So that holy place may influence the outcome of the battle. That's why he is very using this particular word. What did they do? Because if the same Kurukshetra war, if the war between Pandavas and Kauravas might have taken place at some other place, or Bombay, London, New York, somewhere, definitely that might have favored the Kauravas. But here it is the holy place, Dharmakshetra, and Pandavas are the devotees. So Dhritarashtra is fearful that it may favor the Pandavas. We'll see the points written by Srila Prabhupada. Kurukshetra is a sacred place of pilgrimage from immemorial time of the Vedic age. Kurukshetra is a holy place and a place of worship even for heavenly denizens. The Supreme Lord is personally present on the Pandavas side. Pandavas are virtuous, therefore the holy place may influence them. So that is the one more thing he is telling. And the uh, father of Dharma, that is Krishna himself, is personally present there. So Dhritarashtra is fearful about the holy influences and the fate of the battle, because it may influence his own sons to compromise. He don't want any compromise to happen. He want the war to happen and Pandavas to be defeated. Then his son Duryodhana can rule. So he don't want any compromise. Or he hoped that under the holy influence, the Pandavas may renounce their claim to avoid bloodshed. And he also felt that, okay, how nice it will be. Pandavas feel that why we should fight, we are brothers. Just to give up the kingdom and they may go to forest. That is what his hope. So we have seen how the even Parshurama is also related to the this holy place of Kurukshetra. And Dhritarashtra's partiality is given here. He is partial to his own sons. Dhritarashtra refers to Mamaka Pandavas Cheva. So Mamaka means my sons and Pandava means Pandu's sons. So we may feel, at least I felt like that. What is so great in that? They are his uncle, his brother's sons. That is how anyone refers. But from Vedic culture point of view, it is actually in Vedic culture, they treat we see in Ramayana. So Lord Ram treated all the mothers equally. And even the mothers also treated all the sons equally. So that is how Vedic culture is there. So to tell like this is actually showing partiality. Mamaka Pandava. Actually, Dhritarashtra, as per Vedic standards, he should say, my sons have assembled. My sons means even Pandu's sons are also his sons only. So the fact that he is separating them, Mamaka Pandava shows, is partial towards his own sons. So an analogy is given, just as the unnecessary weeds taken out in the when there is a crop is there, paddy field. So they remove the weeds. Similarly, in this religious field of Kurukshetra, the weeds like Duryodhana will be wiped out by the father of religion, Sri Krishna. So just as the weeds are removed from the paddy field, similarly in this religious field, the father of religion, Krishna, will remove the weeds like Duryodhana. So here, Prabhupada writes, although Sanjaya is sitting at a distant place, but he is able to see the whatever is the war going on. So Prabhupada writes, it is because of the mystic siddhis that Sanjaya has. Vyasadeva actually wanted to give vision to Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra he told that all these years I couldn't see my sons. Now why to see them dying? So he did not accept. Then the vision was given to the Sanjaya. So Sanjaya, with that whatever the vision given by Vyasadev, he is able to see the battlefield and he is describing it to the Dhritarashtra here. So these are the various mystic siddhis given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. One of the thing is Dura Darshanam, seeing things far away. By meditating on Lord as existing within the combination of sun and vision. So how to get that vision? One should meditate, the yogi should meditate on the Lord as he is the one, the sun god is actually Lord's eyes. Like that, if someone meditates, then they get this particular power, seeing things far away. So here we can see Dhritarashtra is in the me consciousness. Everything he want to know, it is related to me only. That's why he is telling my sons and Pandu's sons. So he is making a distinction. Similarly, we can see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the little Dhruva, he went and he want to sit on the lap of Uttanapada Maharaj. So immediately Suruchi came there. Suruchi came and she made the distinction. My son Uttama, and you are not my son, you are Suniti's son. So if you want to sit on the lap, you should also take birth from my womb only. So indirectly she is telling you need to die and take birth from my womb, then you will get the eligibility to sit on your father's lap. Then we can see in the Ramayana how just because of Mantara, before meeting Mantara, Kaikeyi was treating the Lord Ram as good as Bharata, all the sons equally. Just by that little bad association, so Kaikeyi is telling, my son and Kausalya's son. So my son should become the king and Kausalya's son should go to the Dandakaranya for 14 years. So that is how the me consciousness is given. But instead we can come to the we consciousness. We consciousness means just as Yudhishthir Maharaj. So when the Duryodhana and his party, when he went to the forest Vanavas where they want to teach the Pandavas. So in that process, Yudhishthir Maharaj offends one particular Gandharva, Chitrasen. So that Chitrasen defeats all the Kauravas. He captures Duryodhana and takes him as a captivity. Then Bhima was very happy, very nice. Actually, whatever we want to do, it was done by the Gandharvas. There is a proverb also in Telugu language. So then Yudhishthir Maharaj tells, no, you should go. We are actually 105 brothers. They are 100 and we are 5. So please rescue Duryodhan. That is how Yudhishthira has we consciousness. And similarly, when there is a Yaksha, so there is a lake where the Pandavas are thirsty. They want to drink water. So there is one particular Yaksha. He tells, you need to answer all the questions asked by me. Then only you can drink the water. But all the four of them, they did not give any much heed to the advice of the Yaksha. They drink and they die. So finally, it is Yudhishthir who tolerated the thirst. So although he was very thirsty, he tolerated it and he answered all the questions of the Yaksha. So Yaksha was very happy and he tells, among the 4, you can select one particular brother. So he will be alive. So immediately Yudhishthir Maharaj selected, I want Nakul. So Yaksha told, you are going to, in the future, you are going to fight with the Kauravas. So why you selected Nakul? If you select Arjuna or Bhima, they will be more helpful for you in the battle. But Yudhishthir Maharaj says, no, I want Nakul because I myself is son of Kunti. So one son of Kunti is alive. But if Nakul is also alive, at least one son of Madri also comes alive. That's why I selected Nakul. So by hearing this, Yaksha, who is actually Dharma personified, he becomes very happy and he makes all the four brothers alive. So in that way, we can learn from Yudhishthira Maharaj how we consciousness, instead of dividing ourselves into, so at least within our influence, not divided, oh, he is that guru disciple, this guru disciple, all those things, but we should have the we consciousness. Okay, we'll go to the second, we'll see the second sloka also. After that, we'll take, if someone has any questions, we'll take at that time. Sanjaya Uvacha Društva tu Pandavanekam Yodam Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So Duryodhana went to the Dronacharya and he spoke the following words. Acharya means Dronacharya. Sanjay Ovacha, O King Raja, after looking Društva over the army, the soldiers of Pandavas, Pandavanikam, arranged Vyudam in military formation by the sons of Pandu, the Raja here represents Duryodhan, went Upasangamya to his teacher Acharyam and spoke Abravit the following words, Vachanam. So he went to Dronacharya, he saw the army of the Pandavas, he went to Dronacharya, and now he will speak from next sloka onward. They reveal his, so Duryodhana's actions are described. They reveal his diplomacy and inner fear by the following indications. Duryodhana, although mentioned as king, he goes to the commander on account of seriousness of situation. So the fact that Duryodhana, he is the king, Raja, it is mentioned. Then he could have called, please bring Dronacharya in front of me. He could have told it, but he did not do. He personally went to Dronacharya. This shows he is quite fit to be a politician. He is very, very good in the politics. He knows how to deal with any person at what situation. And also, it also implies there is a fear in him. So there is a fear, that's why he has to go to the Dronacharya personally. Okay. At this point, if someone has some comment or queries, we will take, and then we will go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, okay, Sarita Mataji, after that, Abha Pandit Mataji.
Prabhuji, why Kurukshetra is considered to be a holy place?
Okay. I did not do much homework to see why Kurukshetra is holy place, but basically there is a story in the Puranas. The king Kuru, there is a king Kuru who is the ancestor of the Pandavas and Kauravas. He started plowing that field. Plowing the field means basically he was doing the yajna there. So there personally Lord Vishnu comes, and Lord Vishnu comes and tells that this place will be named after you. Whoever do any pious activities, so they will increase multifold here. So that is how Lord Vishnu blesses. And Parasuram also created some lakes there, which are very auspicious to take a bath. In that way, these are two reasons. If someone else knows any other reason, they can tell.
In that battlefield, if anybody killed or die, animal or human, whoever die in that place, definitely they will reach the God's kingdom. That also they bless that place.
Okay.
Prabhu, can I ask my doubt, or do you want to go to Abha Pandit Mataji?
Yeah, after Abha Pandit Mataji, our Ranjan Radha Pran.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is why there is so much description of Mahabharata, because it is another scripture as to say when we are learning Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, this is the setting the scene. Na? So Mahabharata means the first chapter, that too is just 20 verses, the Mahabharata is there. And after that, deep philosophy will start. We forget also that the battle is going on here. So nowhere the word Yuddha also comes. Somewhere in the 8th chapter one time comes, 3rd chapter one time comes. Otherwise, we even forget that we are in the battlefield. So initially, this is a setting the scene.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Ranjan Radha Prana Prabhuji.
Prabhu, on what basis we are saying Arjuna is not ignorant? Because even though he was Lord Sri Krishna's personal associate, and although he was coming from the higher planets to do Leela also, the moment if any personality enters into this Murti Loga, immediately he gets affected by 3 modes of material nature, right? So by that effect, he becomes ignorant. So that's why he asked all these questions, no, in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that will come in the future purpose. We'll discuss it. Yeah.
Prabhuji,
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said something about this Saunakadi Rishis about in relation to Mahabharata and Mystic. Prabhuji, can you please repeat?
Yeah, even the not only the 18 Puranas are spoken by the Suta Goswami to Saunakadi Rishis, even Itihasa, this Ramayana also, Mahabharata also spoken by the, that is how Mahabharata first verse starts. The Suta Goswami and Saunakadi Rishis, they meet, just as Bhagavatam, whatever is initial portion is there, similar thing is there in the Mahabharata also.
Okay.
So Suta Goswami describes this to Saunakadi Rishis. While describing, he quotes how Vaisampayana narrated this Mahabharata to Janamejaya. Just as there Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit were quoted, similarly here Vaisampayana and Janamejaya were quoted.
Can you show the drawing, Prabhu? About few slides back, you have shown that round wala that one.
Yeah.
Not this one. This one. Thank you.
Okay.
Prabhuji, the Siddhis you mentioned are similar to these Ashtasiddhis, Prabhuji, are they different?
These are secondary Siddhis. There are Ashtasiddhis, which are Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Garima. They are there. They are major Siddhis. These are secondary Siddhis, means they can see from a distance and they can assume whatever if he is a male person, he can assume a female form, or the soul can come out of the body and enter into some other body, just as Shankaracharya, he went to some other king's body to learn the Kama Shastra, or Swachanda Mrityu, whenever they want, they can give up the body. So in that way, there are Dorasravan. So all these are there now also. Dorasravan, we have now I am speaking here. You are sitting at a different place and hearing. This is also kind of Siddhi, but we are using the matter. So without the mobile or laptop, we cannot do this. But there, they don't even need the matter. So they do it at the subtle level itself.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My hand is raised, Prabhuji.
Ishwar Prabhuji.
My question is, we in the beginning significance of the chapter naming, we understood that acharyas who focused on the first verses up to 27, they Sainya Darshan, and then Arjuna Vishada Yoga after that. Now, but we see in Bhagavad Gita, SP is named observing Amis, Srila Prabhupada. So why Arjuna Vishada Yoga has been not considered?
Yeah, it is basically, I think Prabhupada mostly followed Baldev Vidya Bhushan. So that is what to whom he actually dedicates this particular. If you read the first to Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushana, who presented so nicely the Govinda Bhashya commentary on Vedanta philosophy. So Prabhupada majorly followed Baldev Vidya Bhushan commentary. So Baldev Vidya Bhushan gives the Sainya Darshan Yoga. That's why Prabhupada also followed the same pattern.
Another question, Prabhuji. We saw that after there's a link. Dronacharya may ask that Can we go there, please? Can we go to that slide? I think the beginning is there. The link is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, here link. Let me ask now. This is it our assumption?
Yeah, this is our Acharyas has given.
Okay.
Acharyas Vishwanath Chakravarti. So basically here whatever we are discussing, majorly from Srila Prabhupada purpose, and a few connections and few points are also from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan. So whatever the links they have given, we have kept here.
Okay, that's clear, Prabhuji. And then we said that Duryodhana is also a politician because he had himself as a king gone to his, Senapati, that is Dronacharya, and therefore he's a politician. Now, in the modern world, even CEOs of the companies, they also go to their directors or people down below. Now, it is not out of politics they are doing it, because it is like management by moving around. You also try to, you don't sit in your glass house or glass ceiling or corner room. You also mingle up with people. Of course, if you're a CEO, it may not be possible for you to go around, but the other leadership positions, definitely we have seen that you sometimes go to your people down below and they interact. That doesn't give a picture of being a politician as far as the leader is concerned. It is like, you try to mingle around with people and then have that personal touch instead of people going to him in his corner room. So that in the present day context, slightly different. At that time, he was a politician. Suppose if you were to live Duryodhana now, politician, because you have to work along, you have to go along with people, you have to mix around with people.
Okay. Yeah.
That is one. Sorry. Yeah, sir.
Okay. Actually, here it is a good quality. It is mentioned. Basically, the politician word is something not negative. As a leader, he is a good leader. That is how the good quality is brought out here.
Okay, Prabhuji. And one last, the Sanjay started speaking to Dhritarashtra. I understand. I heard it in some of the lectures after the 10th chapter. Now, whereas it is coming in the first chapter itself. So, could you throw some light on that?
Sanjay spoke after 10th chapter. No. Okay, you may be referring to after 10 days of battlefield.
Yeah, sorry. 10 days. You're right. 10 days of battlefield.
Yeah, that is correct. That is there in the he fought for 10 days. He is not exactly fought. He was the chariot driver. After Bhishma falls down, he comes back and he describes this Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra in Hastinapur.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna. Can I ask?
Yes.
This reference of conversation between the Sutta Goswami to sages headed by Sonakari, but this reference in Bhagavad Gita nowhere it's mentioned, no? In which book this reference? This is first time I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, we need to read Mahabharata. Mahabharata starts with this. Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. Now we are seeing into the innermost circle, but outer, if you go, it is a discussion between Sutta Goswami and the Saunakadi Rishis, where Sutta Goswami quotes the conversation between Vaisampayana and Janamejaya. So that is the...
Means in general, whoever reads, he may not be knowing this is happening, because nowhere this reference is given, no, in Bhagavad Gita or commentaries, nowhere this given.
Yeah, because we are only going directly into Bhagavad Gita, which is part of Mahabharata. If we read Mahabharata, we'll come to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
1 minute, Pankaj Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, the question I have is that sometimes people say that that just like Kaikai, he just played a role in Ramayana to make that Ramayana happen. So are Ravan and other people like Duryodhana over here, are they also playing their role in this Leela of the Lord, or how to understand that?
Yeah, they may be playing the role because they may be, but at the same time we should not go too much into the green room. Green room means where they are people are applying makeup and all. if we see, oh, this person is playing this role, this person is playing this role, then we can't enjoy the particular drama. Similarly, even if someone mantra is also sent by some devatas to act that role, but our focus would be more on how the envy will, how the bad association will spoil us. So we need to focus more in this, learning from them.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for that. Yeah, thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. In the introduction, it was mentioned that Krishna established a new parampara by telling Gita to his friend and devotee Arjuna. Correct. And that established a new parampara. But then in the disciplic succession, again given after the introduction in this book, this doesn't, there is no mention of this. If a new parampara started again with Arjuna and how it again came down till us.
Okay. Basically, this is a Rajarshi parampara. It is comes in the kingly succession. Just as that, also we have seen sun god, Vaivaswata Manu. Then comes the Ikshvaku. So that is a kingly succession. And what we got is the different line. This is a different line which is coming from the Brahma. So Brahma and so on, Vyasadev. From Vyasadev, we directly got to Madhvacharya. So we are receiving knowledge in this particular line. And also, obviously, whatever Krishna spoke to Arjuna, that only we are reading. So we are getting that same knowledge also.
But from Arjuna, it didn't go from it. Again, the succession didn't start from Arjuna, right?
Okay, after Arjuna, how it?
In Mahabharata, when Krishna came, yeah.
Okay, whatever I know, that much only. Maybe someone want to add it for the Abha Pandit Mataji's question. Here it is mentioned new parampara started after Arjuna who received this knowledge. In one sense, we are all receiving because Bhagavad Gita is there.
Prabhuji, it is the same.
Arjuna didn't tell to anybody, no?
No, you don't. We are not asking the question again. We want answer if someone want to.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna has been compiled by Vyasadeva. So from Vyasadeva, it percolated down. So therefore, whatever knowledge received by Arjuna, the same knowledge is come down. So this also can be called as a new parampara.
Yeah,
as far
very
as
good.
Bhagavad Gita is concerned.
Yes, very good.
Prabhuji, which you mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita book, the disciplinic succession, it is come from Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa. So means this is the new one, because previously I was heard is Krishna spoke to sun god, no?
That is a different.
Sun god to Manu.
That is a different parampara. There are so many paramparas basically. So that is Rajarshi parampara, and this is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya parampara, whatever we are receiving.
Oh, okay.
Prabhu, only 4 paramparas are authorized, no? Then how other paramparas are found? Like Rajarshi parampara, all those things.
Okay. Yeah, I will note down the question. I don't know the exact answer.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, after the introduction in the Gita book, disciplic succession is given. The 30 names are given.
Yeah.
And it says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. So it is coming in the rajarshayo disciplic succession. That's what we understand. And then from Krishna, it comes to A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Before that, all the acharyas are there. Lord Chaitanya, of course, 22nd, Rupa Goswami, Swarupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Das Goswami, Krishna Dasa, Narottama, Vishwanatha, Baldev, Jagannatha, Bhakti Vinoda, Gauri Kishora, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta. So parampara is there. This is even though we are directly getting from Arjuna by reading this, but it has come in this disciple succession as given here.
Yeah. Same thing our Srikanth Bhatt Prabhu mentioned. Okay, we'll go ahead. If someone else has question, please hold it. We'll see it
Prabhuji,
later.
a little explanation, sorry, Hare Krishna. It
Ah.
means this. It means after Vyasa Deva, it is Madhava only. No, not Madhava. See what it is, Madhvacharya, or what is the fifth?
Yeah,
Fifth one is whatever it is,
Madhvacharya.
Prabhuji.
Madhvacharya.
Madhvacharya. So the fifth one. So there was no new parampara established as such. No, then it is only spoken by Vyasadeva to Vyasadeva has described that how Krishna spoke this to Arjuna. Correct. So Vyasadeva has described this.
Yeah, whatever spoken to Arjuna,
Correct, no.
that is written by Vyasadeva. That knowledge is taken by Madhvacharya,
And then Madhva.
to whom you are connected.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Third verse we'll start. Pasyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyodam Drupada Putrena Tava Sishyena Dhimata. O my teacher, that is Dronacharya, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Pasya, behold, Yetam, this Panduputranam of the sons of Pandu, Acharya, O teacher, Mahatim, great, Chamum, military force, Vyodam, arranged, Drupada Putrena, by the son of Drupada, Tava, your Shishyena, disciple, Dhimata, very intelligent. So, O my teacher, behold the great army, Mahatim Chamum, of the sons of Pandu, Panduputranam, so expertly arranged, Vyodam, by your Tava, intelligent, Dhimata, disciple, Sishyena, the son of Drupada. So anyone knows the son of Drupada's name?
Drishtadhyumna.
Yeah. So he basically, what Duryodhana is doing, he pointing out the Drona's mistake of imparting military secrets to the son of Drupada, that is Drishtadhyumna, who was born to kill Dronacharya himself. So you know that this person is going to kill you. Then why did you give this military education to him? Because you have given the military education. Now he arranged all the Pandavas army in such a nice formation. So you did a mistake. Okay, whatever you have done, no problem. At least now don't be lenient. So fight properly. Like that, indirectly, he is hinting to Dronacharya. Because previously, the Drupada and Dronacharya, they, in today's class also little bit Mahabharata comes for the sake of understanding. But later on, there will be no stories, nothing. We'll go pure philosophy. So Dronacharya and Drupada, they were classmates, and just one time he was very affectionate to Dronacharya, and he tells, I will give you half of the kingdom. So later on, they move on to their lives, and Dronacharya, he becomes a poor Brahmana, and Drupada becomes a great king. So one time, Dronacharya, he was not effort to give milk to Ashwadhama. He just mixes some atta with water and gives Ashwadhama, saying that this is the milk. So he was drinking that milk, and one day he came to know that one of his friend place, they give him actual milk. Then he drinks that milk and he tells, no, this is not milk. Milk means every day I drink different thing. Then the other friends, they laugh at him. They say that this is actual milk. So Ashwadhama becomes very much hurt, and he complains to Dronacharya, all these days you are cheating me, saying that atta water as milk. So Dronacharya, he thought, okay, let me beg for a cow from Drupada. He went to Drupada's place, but Drupada, he feels threatened. Although he want to ask for one cow only, but Drupada feels that he might have come to claim the half of the kingdom. He insults him and sends away. So then Dronacharya comes. He teaches both the Pandavas and Kauravas. And as Guru Dakshina, he requests them, bind Drupada and bring him. So all the Kauravas, along with Karna, they go there, and they were thoroughly defeated. When they come back, then Pandavas, they go, they arrest Drupada and bring him in front of the Dronacharya. So Dronacharya, he takes the half of the kingdom and insults Drupada and leaves him. So Drupada, he goes back, and he want to have a daughter who can marry the powerful Arjuna, because he just now saw the power of Arjuna, and one son who can kill Dronacharya. So he makes that sacrifice. In that sacrifice takes birth the Drushtadhyumna, who is supposed to kill Dronacharya, and Draupadi, who is supposed to get married to Arjuna. So in that way they have taken birth, Drushtadhyumna and Draupadi. Although Dronacharya know that this Drushtadhyumna has taken birth to kill me, but as a Brahmana, it is his duty, whoever approaches, to teach them. So he did not hesitate. He taught everything to Drushtadhyumna. So that mistake now Duryodhana is pointing out. Why did you teach him? Okay, anyway, it happened already. At least now don't be lenient, fight properly. So that is what he is telling. Atra Sura Maheshvasha Bhimarjuna Samayude Yudano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudana, Virata and Drupada. Atra here Sura heroes Mahesh Mahayeshu Asha, mighty bowmen, Bhima Arjuna, to Bhima and Arjuna. Sama equal Yudhi in the fight, Yudana, Virata, Drupada, and all these are great fighters. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudana, Virata, and Drupada. Now he starts narrating the names of the fighters on the Pandava side. And why he compares them to Bhima and Arjuna? Because he already knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna. Just as we had seen when he was captured by the Gandharvas, it is Bhima and Arjuna who fought and released him. So he knows the strength of Bhima and Arjuna. And he is telling these are the standards. Bhima and Arjuna are the highest standard. And all these people are also as good as equal to them. And why he mentions other heroes? Because they were great stumbling blocks on the path of victory. As each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. Drushtaketu Chaikitana Kasi Rajascha Viryavan Purijit Kunti Bhojascha Saivyascha Narapungava. Viryavan, very powerful. Narapungava, hero in human society. So there are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drushtaketu, Chaikitana, Kashi Raja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Saibya. So these are the various fighters who are. Kunti Bhoja is the father of Kunti Maharani. So her actual name is Pruta. So she was given by the her father Surasena to Kunti Bhoja as adopted daughter. So then she accepted the name Kunti. And Saibya, he is a descendant of Sibi Maharaj. Kashi Raja is the king of Kashi. And I think this Drushtaketu and Chaikitana, they are somehow related to Shishupal, as far as I remember. Yudhamanyucha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saupadro Draupadeyascha Sarvaveva Maharata. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Who is son of Subhadra?
Abhimanyu.
Yeah. Vikranta means might. Viryavan, very powerful. Saubhadra means son of Subhadra. Draupadeya means sons of Draupadi. Sarve, all. Eva, certainly. Maharata. So there are Rati, Maharati, Atirati, like that. There is a gradation. So all these are Maharatis. And this Yudhamanyu and Uttamauja, they are the brothers of Draupadi. They actually guard the Arjuna's chariot wheels. Yudhamanyu and Uttamauja, they guard the chariot wheels of Arjuna, and they survive the whole battlefield. But in the night of the 18th day, Ashwadama kills them during the sleep. Even the sons of Draupadi, they also survived the whole battlefield, but in the night, Ashwadama kills them. Here is Abhimanyu who is fighting. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टा ये तान्निबोधा द्विजोत्तमा नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. Asmakam, our, tu, but, Vishishta, specially powerful, ye, who, tan, them, niboda, just take note of, Dvijottama, O best of the Brahmanas, Nayaka, captains, Mama, my, Sainyasa of the soldiers, Samnyardam, for information only, tan, them, Bravi me, I am speaking, te to you. So don't think that only their side has so many powerful warriors. We also have. Now I will tell their names. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samtim Jaya Asvetama Vikarnascha Saumadattis Tataivacha. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Krupa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. So there are so many personalities in our side also, who are all very, very powerful. So here Karna is actually not on the battlefield because Bhishma Dev, when they asked Bhishma Dev evaluate the armies on both the sides, Bhishma Dev tells Karna is powerful, but he has the curse of Parshuram. Parshuram, he went to Parshuram and in the name of Brahmana, he received the education. But later on, when he underwent that pain by that insect, so Parshuram understood. Actually, a Brahmana cannot understand cannot tolerate the physical pain. He may tolerate the if someone insult him, Brahmana can tolerate, but he must be Kshatriya. That's why although blood is oozing out of his thigh, he did not feel any, he tolerated it. So then he comes to know that he is a Kshatriya born and he curses him. When you need the most, this knowledge will not be useful because you told lie. So Bhishma tells, since at the time of need, his knowledge is not useful, so what is the use of his great power? So Bhishma tells him he is Ardharati. Ardharati means half warrior. So Karna becomes very upset. He feels that I am not going to fight as long as Bhishma is alive. And another reason is, it is me who is going to fight and bring the victory, and the name will go to the captain. So Bhishma is the captain. Why should I give him the whatever work I did? And why should I give the credit to Bhishma? So after Bhishma falls, I will bring the victory and name also will come to me. And Vikarna is not a great warrior, but his name is mentioned by Duryodhana because it is Vikarna who opposed the Draupadi's Vastrapahara. So among all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, no one spoke any word. But Vikarna is also brother of Duryodhana. But he got up in that assembly and he spoke against he told that this is a sinful activity. Why are you doing this activity? So that's why Duryodhana was very fearful. He may change the side. So to make sure that he will be in his place, he mentioned the Vikarna's name. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Krupa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in the battle. So we have seen this. Anye cha bahava sura madarte tyakta jivita nana shastra praharana sarve yuddha visharata. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. So others also there, Bahava, great numbers, Sura, heroes, Mat, for my sake, Tekta Jivita, prepared to risk life, Nana, many, Shastra, weapons, Praharana, equipped with survey, all of them, Yuddha Visharada, experienced in military science. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. So he mentions heroes are who are ready to lay down their lives for me, like Jayadratha, Krutavarma, Selya, etc. So wherever we see such kind of links, they are from our Acharya's purpose. Dronacharya may ask, how can you achieve victory when troops are equal on both the sides? Aparyatpam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tu idam etesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. Aparyaptam, immeasurable, that asmakam, our, but our army is immeasurable. Why? Because Bhishma is protecting. Balam means strength. Avirakshitam, perfectly protected. Paryaptam, limited. Their army is very limited. Why? Bhima is protecting. Because Bhima is a relatively new kid in front of Bhishma, who is very, very experienced. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. So our acharyas give the commentary. Saraswati Devi actually made him to speak like that. There are two meanings for this. So Paryapta means, as we have seen, one is immeasurable. Their meaning, one Paryapta means measurable, and Aparyapta means immeasurable. So Duryodhana is using the first meaning, that is, our army is immeasurable, protected by Bhishma, whereas the Pandavas army is Paryapta, measurable, because it is protected by less experienced Bhima. Whereas the meaning two is Aparyapta means insufficient also. One is immeasurable, another is insufficient. So Duryodhana indirectly telling our army is insufficient, but whereas Pandavas army is sufficient. So that is how he is telling. Our army protected by Bhishma is immeasurable, but their army protected by Bhima is measurable. So this is first meaning. Second meaning is our army protected by Bhishma is insufficient, but their army protected by Bhima is sufficient. So in that way, Acharyas give that Duryodhana is already agreeing that his army is insufficient, although 11 Akshohinis are there, and Pandavas have only 7 Akshohinis, but it is sufficient for them to get victory. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagam avastita bhishmam yevaabhirakshantu bhavanta sarva evahi. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Ayaneshu, in the strategic points, cha also sarveshu, everywhere, yata bhagam, as differently arranged. Avastita, situated, Bhishmam, unto Bhishma, eva, certainly, abhirakshantu, should give support. Bhavanta, you, survey, all respectively, eva he, certainly. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So one observation here we can make is, he made so many names of the warriors on both the sides, but he did not mention the Krishna's name at all. So this is the materialistic vision by the Duryodhana. So he is feeling that, okay, whomever I am mentioned, I did not mention any chariot drivers' names. I mentioned only the Maharathas who are fighting, but Krishna is not fighting. Krishna is just sitting as a chariot driver. Why should I mention his name? So if he also might be fighting, I will mention his name also, one of the Maharatha. If he is not fighting, what is the role for him to do here? So that is how the Duryodhana is thinking about the. That's why he did not even mention the Krishna's name. So if I ask you which is greater, 1 is greater or 18 is greater, generally someone may say that 18 is greater. But if I keep the unit, $1 is greater or 18 rupees is greater. So then the answer will be $1 is greater in value compared to the 18 rupees. Similarly, one Krishna is more than all the 18 Aksohini Senas. That is what devotees see. But the materialistic vision of Duryodhana, he is feeling that why to mention Krishna's name only if he is not fighting. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, he praises Bhishma. Duryodhana praises. He was confident of full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya because they did not protect Draupadi when she was insulted. So when Draupadi was insulted, Bhishma and Drona, they sat silently without objecting it. Although Bhishma and Drona have affection for Pandavas and might become lenient, he hoped that they will give up all affection now. So in that way, he is confident that they will give their full support. And he asks for everyone's support for Bhishma. So because Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the great hero, but he was an old man and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on the side. So if he is fighting at one side and the enemy may attack from the other side. So he is telling all of you strategically stand and support Bhishma Dev. And also he wanted everyone to feel important. So we as a king, he went to Dronacharya, then Bhishma may feel that why he did not come to me. So that's why by mentioning the name of Bhishma Dev, he is making sure that Bhishma also feel that he also very important person. Okay. Okay, Jai Shri Mataji, can you mention few warriors' names on the Pandava side?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Few warriors' names on the Pandava side.
On the Pandava side, it was Draupadi's father.
Hare Krishna. Can you please speak loudly?
One moment, Prabhuji. I am on the Bluetooth for the speaker. 1 minute. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. From Pandava's side, it was Draupadi's father and his army. And you had this I'm unable to recollect the names, Prabhuji.
Okay, no problem.
Prabhuji, can I?
Who is speaking?
Mohan Mathura.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Kunti Bhoja, Virata, Drupata, Drishtadumya.
Yeah, very good. Okay, Hari Balram Prabhuji, can you please mention few warriors on Duryodhana's side?
Harish no Dandod.
Dandavad Prabhuji.
Dronacharya, Bhishma Dev ji, और Karna. Ashwatthama.
Yeah. Correct. Thank you. Lata Mataji, why did Duryodhana mention Vikarna's name? Although
Hare
he is
Krishna
not a
Prabhu.
great warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, although Vikarna is not a great warrior, since he was the only one who stood up when when they were abusing Draupadi Vastrahan, he was the only one who stood up and objected to it. So Duryodhan was frightened whether he would change sides.
Yeah. Thank you. What is the meaning of aparyaptam? Two meanings of aparyaptam. Anyone can answer.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Immeasurable and insufficient.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, about this Vikarna, I also heard from another devotee. He was also very good in archery. Like he was having many powers in archery. So he was also a prominent warrior in among Duryodhana's brothers. So is that correct?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but this is what I heard from the classes. He may be definitely they are all great warriors, but compared to the names mentioned there like Krupacharya, Bhishma, Ashwatthama, so compared to them, he may not be on their level. That is what I heard.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So basically, we have seen Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya after the Pandavas and the sons of Pandu and my sons assembled in Kurukshetra, what did they do? He is asking this question because he is afraid that holy place Kurukshetra may sway by the effect of Kurukshetra, my sons may get compromised or what. He is feeling that some change may happen, or even the Pandavas may renounce the kingdom and go. So he is hoping in that way. Then Sanjaya started speaking. Duryodhana went to Dronacharya and told that all these armies arranged by the son of Drupada Dushtadhyumna, see your intelligent disciple. In that way, he found out the mistake in Dronacharya. Why did you teach him? At least now onward, fight without any leniency. Then he mentioned the names of the various warriors on Pandava's side. Virata, Drupada, Satyaki, Yudamanyu, Uttamauja, Abhimanyu, and sons of Draupadi. And on the side of the Kauravas, Bhishma, Drona, Ashwatthama, Karna, Vikarna. And if both are same, then how the victory will come? Because whatever the protected by Bhishma is insufficient. So that is the second meaning, aparyaptam. So in that way we can see. And 11th, we have seen all of you should give support to Bhishma. In that way, he is making sure that Bhishma also feel important. Okay, from 12 to 20, we'll see the signs of victory for Pandavas. So Bhishma blew his conch shell in the 12 to 13. Then many drums, horns, etc. created great sound. From 14 to 18, Krishna, Pandavas, and other Pandava warriors, they blew their conch shells. And this sound, it shattered the hearts of the Dhritarashtra's sons. In the 20th verse, Arjuna started speaking. So these are the various good omens or signs of victory for Pandavas, which are brought here from the various verses. So Krishna's personal presence confirms victory because it is mentioned, Jayatu Pandaputranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. So wherever Janardana is there, that side will always be victorious. And also Krishna's name is Rishikesha, and he directly controls the senses of pure devotee. And there is goddess of fortune. Wherever Krishna is there, Lakshmi Devi is there. So that's why, since Krishna is present on the Pandava side, goddess of fortune also present on their side. Therefore, definitely victory will be for Pandavas. And we already seen Kurukshetra itself is a holy place. So in the holy place, definitely the devotees like Pandavas will win. And there is Hanumanji on Arjuna's chariot. So that is also one of the good women. And there is a conch shells are mentioned now onwards it will come. So conch shell is the symbol of Vishnu. So this is also one of the signs of victory. And also mentioned Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shells are mentioned as Divya. So that is also. And Agnidev has given the chariot to Arjuna. That is also the chariot of Arjuna can travel in all directions, which is given by Agnidev. So Agnidev blessings are there. And when the Pandavas blew the conch shells, the Kauravas' hearts are shattered. So that also one indication that Pandavas are going to win. But when the Kauravas blew their conch shells, Pandavas' hearts are not shattered because of their confidence in Krishna. So these are the various signs of victory that we are going to see now. Can you recollect few things what we have discussed? Various signs of victory.
Chariot of Earth. Presence of
Conch, sound of the conch.
Presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hanuman's
Hanuman's
flag. Hanuman's picture on the flag.
Kurukshetra holy venue.
Dharma. Kurukshetra is
Chariot given by
Goddess of Fortune. Goddess of Fortune.
Conch shells, Prabhuji, conch shells.
Agnideva's chariot.
The sound of conch shell shattered the hearts of Kauravas, but not Pandavas.
Bhishma's conch shell only to pacify Duryodhana.
Krishna himself as Rishikesha.
Goddess of Fortune.
Yeah, it is mentioned here. Okay, thank you very much. You remembered almost everything. Okay. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai chenkam dadmo pratapavan. Tasya his Sanjanayan increasing harsham cheerfulness kuru vruddha the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty. Pitamaha the grandfather. Simhanadam roaring sound like that of a lion. Vinadya vibrating. Uchai loudly. Shankam conch shell. Dadmau blue. Pratapavan the valiant. The Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, Kuru Vruddha, the grandfather of the fighters, Pitamaha, blew Dadmau his conch shell, Shankam, very loudly, Uchai, making a sound like the roar of a lion, Simhanadam, giving Sanjanayan, Duryodhana, Tasya, joy, Harsham. So Bhishma indicates the following things to Duryodhana by his blowing of the conch shell. So blown Bhishma, he did this Simhanath because out of natural compassion for his grandson Duryodhan and to cheer the fearful heart of Duryodhan. We have seen, although he is a king, he went to Dronacharya. This one is he is a great politician. Second is he is also fearful. That's why he went to Dronacharya. So to cheer him, don't worry so much. So he is cheering by his conch shell. And it is befitting his position as a lion to assure that no pains would be spared in his duty to fight. So he is telling, from my side, I will do my duty fully. So in that way, he is giving assurance to the Duryodhan, and also indirectly by the symbolism of conch shell. So by showing the conch shell, he is showing that this is Vishnu's conch shell. He informed his depressed grandson that he has no chance of victory because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side. Tata Shankasya Beryasya Panavanaka Gomuka Sahasaiva Niyanta Sasabdya Tumulo Bhavat. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Tata thereafter conch shell, Beria large drums, Panava Anaka, small drums, kettle drums. So Krishna's father Vasudeva is called Anakadundevi. So when he has taken birth, so many kettle drums were sounded. Gomukha horns, Sahasa, all of sudden were simultaneously sounded. Shabda, combined sound, Tumula, tumultuous. We can see the same word in the Sanskrit and English. So many of the English words are derived actually from the Sanskrit. Abhavat became. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Many of the drums and as soon as Bhishma blew his conch shells, then they started making the noise. Tata Svetairhayaryukte Mahati Chandane Stitau Madhava Pandavachaiva Divyau Senkau Pradadmatau. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna stationed on a great chariot drawn by the white horses. Svetair Hayair. Sveta means white. Haya means horses. And Mahati Chandane. So that is a great chariot. Who are they? Madhava. So first time Krishna is coming. Pandava. So Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Divyau Sankau Pradadmatu. So they sounded their transcendental conch shells. So this is also one of the signs of victory, which I think none of you mentioned. Sveta, conch white shells. Hayai, horses. Yukte, yoke to great Mahati. Chandane, great chariot. Stitau, situated. Krishna. So Divya Shanka, transcendental conch shells. Pradadmatu, sounded. So this chariot is given by the great chariot is given by the Agnidev we had seen in the previously. So when there was a Kandava Prastha, Agnidev was bereft of the digestive fire. So he want to so much ghee is poured in the yajnas. He was feeling indigestion. He want to eat so many herbs. So that is there in the Kandava Prastha. So in that particular forest, he want to consume that forest to regain his health. So then he requested whenever he want to consume that forest, but Indra comes and pours rains because some of the acquaintances of Indra are there living in that particular forest. So finally Agnidev comes and requests Arjuna, can you please help me to consume this forest? So Arjuna makes a roof with the arrows so that Indra, although he is pouring so much rain, not a drop fell in the forest. So in that way, Agni was able to consume that whole Kandava Prastha. Kandava. Then out of great joy, Agnidev gave this chariot to Arjuna. The chariot and the Gandiva, all these things were given at that time. So this was the blessings of Agni also there. That is also one of the sign of victory. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Poundram Dadmo Mahasankam Bhima Karma Vrupodara. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew the Devadatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Panchajanyam, conch shell Panchajanya, Rishikesha, Krishna, the Lord who directs the senses of the devotees, Devadattam, Dhananjaya, winner of wealth, Tatma blew, Mahashankam, terrific conch shell, Bhima Karma, performer of Herculean tasks, Vruka Udara, voracious eater. So Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya, Arjuna blew the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. So here, why the word Rishikesha mentioned, Srila Prabhupada writes here. Rishika means basically the senses. Isha means controller. So that's why if we see the Uttama Bhakti definition, Sarvopadi Vinirmukto Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Rishika means senses. Senses should be used in the service of Rishikesh, the Supreme Lord. So Rishikesha means the owner of all the senses. Senses of living entities are part and parcels of his senses. So here Prabhupada writes, impersonalists cannot account for the senses of living entities, and they are always anxious to describe the living entity as senseless or impersonal. So many of the impersonalists, they describe only in the conditioned state. When we are in the material world, we have the senses for seeing, hearing, and smelling, etc. But once the living entity liberated, he goes and merges in the Brahman. There he can't see or he can't hear anything. So that is how they describe. But actually that is not the case. So even after liberation, the spiritual senses get activated. So in the spiritual world also, the soul has individuality. They can see, they can hear, they can experience. So they serve the Lord and experience all the emotions. Lord as Paramatma directs the senses according to the surrender of the living entity. So since he is Rishikesha, he can directly controls the senses of a pure devotee like Arjuna. So various names are mentioned about Lord Govinda. He gives pleasure to senses and pleasure to the cows. Vasudeva, Devaki Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Partha Saradi, Madhusudana. In that way, various names are there. One of the name is Rishikesha. And Bhima is called as Vrukodara. He is voraciously as he would do Herculean tasks also. So like killing the which asura is he?
Bakasura.
No, Bakasura time other brothers are not there.
Hidimba?
Hidimba, I think. Yeah, Hidimba Asura. Okay. And Arjuna was called as Dhananjaya because Arjuna helped elder brother to fetch wealth for different sacrifices. So this is our Jambu Dvipa. This is Bharatavarsha and Kimpurusvarsh, Harivarsha. These are the various. Now we are in a small part of within Bharatavarsha. There are so many kandas. We are in the Bharatakanda. The small earth that we live is Bharatakanda. So at that time they used to travel even the all varshas. So how they travel, because now we don't have the access. Now we can't see also those places. But in the Dwapar Yuga, Arjuna actually he went till he conquered the Kimpurusvarsha and he went till Harivarsha. So all the people there, they came and they paid taxes and they told, please don't come here. The human beings are not allowed far from here. But we all pay the taxes. So they gave the taxes. All that Lakshmi, he brought it for Rajasuya sacrifice. That's why he is called Dhananjaya. Okay, we will take this particular verse and we will take a 2-3 questions. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthira Nakula Sahadevascha Sugosha Manipuspakau Kasyascha Parameshwasha Sikandiccha Maharata Drushtadimno Viratascha Satyakiccha Parajita Drupada Draupadeyascha Sarvasa Prudivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahu Sinkam Datmo Prutak Prutak. So King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sugosha and Manipuspaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Sikandi, Drushtadhyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Okay, I'm just going through one particular activity and we'll take the questions. Okay, Krishna Madhurya, can you please tell Krishna's conch shell name? Okay, anyone else?
Panchajanya.
Okay. Arjuna's conch shell, Tulsi Vilas Prabhu. Okay, anyone can tell.
Devadatta.
Yudhishthira's conch shell, Pradyumna Prabhu.
Ananta Vijay.
No, Pradyumna Prabhu, yes. Okay.
Pandra Prabhu.
Actually, Yudhishthira's is Ananta Vijaya. Satish Prabhu, Bhishma's conch, Bhima's, sorry, not Bhishma, Bhima's conch shell.
Pandra.
Yeah. Devaki Mataji, Nakula's conch shell name.
Sugosa.
Thank you. Ambika Gautam Mataji, Sahadeva's conch shell. Okay, anyone else?
Manipuspaka.
Manipuspaka. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. If someone has some comments or queries, we will take and then we'll stop.
I have something to say.
Yes, Chandra Krishna.
As like in the beginning, Sarita Mataji asked one question like why it is called Dharmakshetra. Like you gave one, reason, and devotee also gave one reason. So like one point came to my mind is like can we say like because Krishna is there fighting, is on the side of Pandavas there on the battlefield. So can that be a reason like because Krishna is there that can be said to be a Dharma Kshetra? Because wherever there is Krishna, there is Dharma, like that.
Yeah, that can be definitely told. But even before the Krishna was present there, traditionally that place is a Dharma Kshetra.
Okay.
Even before the battle happened.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prem Kunj Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have one question. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that some warriors are Adhirathi, some are Maharathi. On what basis it is mentioned that you are
okay. Yeah, I read it previously. Now I don't remember. One Maharatha means he need to fight at a time with this many people. So, but there are various versions for that also. That is why that is one reason I didn't remember. At various places, different thing is mentioned. So that hierarchy. Maybe in the next class I will show both the variations. who is called Atirada, who is called Maharatha, etc. Can you please post on the group
Yes,
so that
Prabhu.
I will remember that?
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Or even anyone want to present it also, they can present in the next class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
This Rati means one who can do battle with 1,000 yodhas. And Adhirati means one who can do the war with 12 yodhas.
Okay.
And this Maharati means one who can do battle with 12 Adhirathas.
Okay. 3 only are there. Nikunja Mataji, what is the means from where you told this reference?
I have one book, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. What is the book name?
Because we wrote one exam for this Bhagavad Gita. So we made one book for Gita Kiss like that.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And one more is Maharati, one who can do with 12 Maharati. With them, one who can do war with, they told Maharati.
Okay. Maybe you can post it in our group.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, Mahaprakash Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I believe Dronacharya was godbrother of Bhishma, right? Both were educated under Guru Parshuram. That way, if we look from that parampara perspective, then he is a bona fide guru that way. But if we see, I mean, between Vidura and Dronacharya, Vidura, when he realized, nothing's going to Dhritarashtra's head, he leaves the place and, finally goes and meets Maitra Rishi and enlightens himself. But what was binding Dronacharya? I mean, Dronacharya was like in a way, he was a professional instructor who was getting whatever Dhritarashtra was giving him for his services. And secondly, conquering Draupad was also done by Pandavas, not by Kauravas. So what was binding him that he was on the side of Adharma?
Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji's question is, Bhishma has taken a vow that he will fight for the throne of the Hastinapur. So that's why he was bound by that. Dronacharya, what is the reason he was bound? He could have shifted to the side of Pandavas. That is the question.
Prabhuji, he was the employee of the Kauravas and he was drawing salary and so he had indebtedness towards the crown of Kauravas.
That way, so even Vidura had that indebtedness, right? But he decided to leave.
Prabhuji, one reason is his son Ashwathama also.
Okay, how Ashwathama?
Because he is with Duryodhan side, na? That's why, and he is Duryodhan and Dronacharya is very fond of his son, so he is with them only.
To protect Ashwathama.
The duty of a Brahmana, if we see, duty of a Brahmana is to guide the king the way. Vidura was always guiding the king in the right way, but king was never listening. But in this case, we don't see that he is also guiding the king that way, or guiding his son as
well.
Okay, Chandana and Satish, you are answering the question, or okay, by mistake unmuted. Okay. If someone want to answer Prabhuji's question, Mahaprakash Prabhu's question, they can answer. Yeah, Sarita Mataji, you want to add?
No, Prabhuji, I have question. I will.
Okay, okay.
Prabhuji, Vidura left because he was insulted by Duryodhana. He did not do it intentionally, but the situation was like he was insulted by Duryodhana, that he was just taking all the benefits from the kingdom but not supporting him.
Mataji, that way, so Duryodhana was by nature, he used to insult, I believe, Dronacharya also, he insulted him on multiple occasions.
Could be as an outsider, but Vidura is his family person. Don't know Prabhuji exactly.
Yeah, Rajendra Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. In fact, Dronacharya was more attached to his son, and his son wanted to enjoy the kingdom which he had obtained through his father, by which was snatched from. I mean, the half kingdom which was snatched.
Drupada.
And Dronacharya wanted to. Dronacharya wanted to save his son or protect his son, and his son wanted to be an ally of Duryodhana because of his friendship. So because of this entanglement, he could not leave the battlefield.
But Prabhu, the ideal dharma of Guru is to cut, right? I mean, he cuts people's desires. Guru means to cut.
Yes, but then he was a paid employee of the.
He's not an ideal Guru.
Yes, he was like a teacher, basically.
And secondly, Vidura was suspended and he was shunted out of this thing by Duryodhana. He was sent away forcibly. It's not done so because in case of Dronacharya, he knew Dronacharya is very valuable for him in the battle. That's why he retained he didn't insult Dronacharya in such a way, but he shunted the Vidura out of the kingdom. He forcibly sent him out.
Okay, Sarita Mataji, you want to ask something?
Yes, Prabhuji. The beginning, when Aksha is questioning Yudhishthir, that time Yudhishthir knows that the battle will taking place in the future, Prabhuji. If it is as, that means he was also kept in bewilderness by Krishna, just like Arjuna, Prabhuji. This is my question.
Yeah, they know in the sense, at least they are preparing for that. That is what the whole Vanavas, they use it for this purpose. Arjuna goes and goes to the heavenly planets. He acquires so many weapons. So it is not that they want to fight, but they are preparing themselves in case, because by seeing the nature of Duryodhana and all, in case if this situation arises, they are preparing themselves for fight also. But on the whole, they want to avoid the fight as much as possible.
And my next question is, why Bhishma is considered great, Prabhuji, when he hadn't protected Draupadi when Draupadi Vastraharan was happened? Why he is considered to be a great personality? At that time, he is supposed to protect a lady. He should not sit idle, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah, he should not sit idle. Yeah, that's why one place it comes why he did not speak later on when he was when Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking him various questions on the battlefield to Bhishma. Bhishma was sleeping on the Tampashaya on the bed of arrows. So when Yudhishthir was asking, then one person laughs. So Bhishma says, "Who is that laughing?" Draupadi. So then he asks, "Why are you laughing? Now you are speaking so many dharmas. What happened at that time? At that time I asked you, they are insulting me in the whole assembly. So you did not speak anything." Then Bhishma tells, "Actually, at that time I was polluted by the food given by Duryodhana. I ate his food. That's why I was eating his salt. So my consciousness was polluted. Now your husband Arjuna, he removed all that blood from me. So now I am free from that. So now I can speak on dharma," like that he tells. So by staying in the association of that Kauravas, there was some kind of like that one Acharya comments.
Thank you.
But Mataji, I mean, from other perspective, if we look, okay, except there's one mistake many people talk about, but if we look at for a Kshatriya to take a vow of celibacy, it's a very big thing. Kshatriyas used to have many different wives. For Kshatriya to sacrifice his throne is another big thing. So for the multiple things, I mean, he did in his life, these are some of the best things one can take from him.
Yes. He is a Mahajan, one of the Mahajan.
Really, to add to that, I just heard sometime back that Krishna is trying to show that even his devotee who is on the side of adharma, he'll be doing. That's one.
Yeah, that is also one of the, on the guidance of Krishna, he is fighting on that side. To show that even great warrior like Bhishma is on the side of adharma, he has to lose.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Prabhuji, most of the cases we see like Prahlad Maharaj, Bhishma Dev, and many other previous lives are little bit like fallen down. Like we see in Bhishma Dev's case, he is one of the Vasus who wanted to steal a cow from the Muni. And Prahlad Maharaj also, we hear from other Puranas that he wanted the association of a prostitute or something like that. And suddenly we come up with the great lives like devotees. Should we take it like many other lifetimes are there in between, or by the grace of devotees association, they immediately get this kind of situation? Prabhuji, how to understand?
Okay. Why suddenly, although they were not so great before, suddenly their position is elevated? What is the reason? That is the question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, what you answered is correct only. Actually, the devotee association, like Narada Muni association, he got Prahlad, which actually, whoever met Narada Muni in the whole Bhagavatam, their life is turned. It is Dhruva, Prahlad, Prachina Parishad, Prachetas, Uttanapad. Everywhere Narada Muni is there, and whomever met him, their life changes.
Yes, Prabhuji. And Bhakti comes from Bhakti only. So how this devotee association happens, just by their own mercy, or something from the receiver's part also, like pious activities or anything helps it to get the association, or only by, just because of the mercy of the devotees we get, Prabhuji? How to understand?
Yeah, receiver side, all he need to do is accept. That is the only thing. If someone is there distributing, he is throwing the so many diamond gold from his first floor building. So all one has to do is go there and spread his whatever cloth to receive that. That is the, if that is also, someone comes and gives us khichdi. So from receiver side, the qualification required is accept it. So some people can't do that also. So that is the only qualification for the receiver is accept that mercy. That much only. There is no other qualification.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That's why when many of the Prabhupada disciples, when they ask Prabhupada, what is our qualification? Prabhupada told, I have created for you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I ask one question?
Yes.
Arjuna was fighting for dharma, and Bhishma was there at the adharma side, but he was also fighting. But both were fighting to please the Lord. So does that mean both were doing their devotional service perfectly?
Yeah. Both were doing perfectly. Only thing is, Bhishma was misunderstood by the others, whereas Arjuna was, everyone, for the rest of the history, people glorify Arjuna, and for the rest of the history, people misunderstand Bhishma. He is there on the dharma side. What is the reason? Although Acharyas explain, still there is a doubt people mind. So both are doing perfectly. That's why Bhishma is a Mahajan. the one of the 12 Mahajans, he was treated, and his rasa is also there. One more thing is, he is in Virya rasa with the Lord. So when we say Gopinath, we feel that oh, today this particular flower is there, this turban is there, that kind of thing we feel. But for Bhishma, what is the meditation at the time of death? So he was remembering that particular Krishna from whose the sweat is coming, and when the because of the horses, the dust is rising and it is fallen, and here and there little blood is coming. So that is what he is meditating. That is Virya Rasa. For him, throwing arrow is like a throwing a flower on the Lord. And Lord also reciprocated in the similar way.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, relating to Bhishmacharya, when why he brought Ambika, Ambalika without, they were not sent any Swayamvar invitation by Kashi. They were not invited. Then why he brought, that is also a mistake, na Prabhuji. Why he, when they were not invited, why he went and brought those three ladies?
Okay. Yeah, there are so many kinds of marriages, 7-8 kinds of marriages. One of them is Kshatriya Vivah. For Kshatriyas, such kind of marriages are allowed. Kidnapping, taking them away, and just as Samba also takes away Duryodhana's son, Duryodhana's daughter, and like that many incident comes. Krishna kidnaps Rukmini, of course, out of consent. For Kshatriyas, that kind of marriage is allowed. So that is not against dharma.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, how did Bhishma Dev develop this Bhakti Ras, Prabhuji?
Sakya Ras?
This Virya Ras or any kind of mellow in devotional service, we don't find any difference. Like I didn't find any difference where from he developed this devotional rasa. Like because his previous birth did not give any idea about his devotional status.
Okay. Basically, that is not the main relationship. So there are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. 5 primary are what we know: Shanta, Dasya, Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakya. So basically, Bhishma is in the Dasya ras with the Lord. That is the permanent relationship a person can have with the Lord. On one of the primary rasa, extra thing can add, like Virya, Hasya ras, or Adbhuta ras. So the cowherd boys, they are in mainly Sakya ras. Above that, sometimes they feel Vismaya ras with Krishna. So basically, the primary rasa has to be there, and above that, these can be additions. So Bhishma is in Dasya ras with the Lord. Above that, he also has one of the secondary Virya ras.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what is the heading for the test paper of today's?
Yeah, chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, part 1.
Chapter 1 or introduction?
No. Oh, sorry. We have discussed part 1. Na? Yeah, introduction. Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Can I add something to that Bhishmacharya question? I couldn't get the conclusion, Prabhuji. For example, if we take Prahlad Maharaj, he was though he was in association of Narad Mahamuni, he was partaking the prasada in his own kingdom only, no, Prabhuji. That means he is in association with the demonic family. Likewise, if we see Bhishmacharya, he was also in association with Krishna, And he was taking Duryodhana's, but he was taking prasada only, na Prabhuji. Then how he is polluted, how he's a great personality, has he's the control of senses. Then how he is polluted? I couldn't able to understand, Prabhuji.
Polluted in the sense, not exactly kind of polluted. He did something immoral thing. Polluted in the sense, the subtleties of Shastras is not able to discriminate. When Draupadi asked a particular question, if the Yudhishthir Maharaj already lost himself, can he keep me also as a in the match? Something like that, some subtle thing is there. So Bhishma and Drona, they started telling that, yeah, it is a very difficult question. Basic thing is a woman is getting insulted, so it is outrightly one should condemn it. Instead of that, they went through dharma, as per dharma shastra. They started seeing through law books. So that kind of thing they are able to, they did, which shows that that is because they are accepting the salary given by the Duryodhana because of that association. The basic thing of condemning that act, instead of doing that, they remained silent at that time.
Okay, brother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The shlokas that we recite in the start of the lecture, those are for the present module. But why only those shlokas are considered to be very important, and why not the rest of it?
Okay. Why only out of, there are 279 slokas in the module 1. So out of 279, only 14 are, because these are the slokas which are often quoted by Srila Prabhupada in his classes, and also they carry the most of the essential meaning. So they are considered as the important slokas. That is how those who made this Bhakti Shastri module, which is done by long back by some of the Prabhupada disciples, they selected these slokas as important. So we are memorizing them, which are good for our own nourishment and also for preaching.
Prabhuji, is there any way in which we can be good at recitation, because those words are very difficult to pronounce it? So
yeah, now we are. What you want?
How best can we pronounce those Sanskrit words? No, the pronunciation is very difficult.
Yeah, one audio file I have already.
Yeah, Prabhuji has already sent an audio file.
You can hear that.
Yeah.
And that audio file is also there in the drive, so you can hear it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, are we going to see all the slokas one by one, every chapter?
Yes.
All the slokas.
All the slokas, yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Today we have covered 20 slokas because these are very not much purports are there. But some classes we may not cover that many. Some classes we cover more. 10th chapter we can cover more. 11th we can cover more. Some places we cover less like that. But we will cover every sloka.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one query.
Oh, yes.
Wherein we have discussed now that the disciplic succession was lost, and there was a religion throughout on this earth. So why only at this point of time did Krishna think that he needs to tell this knowledge? Why it was not given earlier? Because a religion was going on even then. Then why only this particular time was chosen by Lord?
Okay. Basically, the Mother Earth, Brahmadev, and all other the devatas, they go and make petition to the Lord. Now religion is more and please appear. So based on their request, Lord appear at that time. It comes in the 10th chapter of 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where the Bhumi Devi, Brahma Dev and all the people, they felt the religion was reached its peak. So Lord has to appear. So based on their request, Lord appeared at that time.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.